Okay, this video is all about how the 2018-2019 budget is going to support living standards. I've broken it down into material living standards and non-material living standards. So in relation to material living standards, the two key policies I'll be looking at is the range of support, ways that they're supporting pensioners and helping to reunite people with their superannuation. In relation to pensioners, the main thing they're doing is they're allowing pensioners to earn an extra $50, so from $250 to $300 per fortnight, without getting their pensions cut. So they can earn an extra $50 more and still collect their full pension, which will give them sort of two sources of income, which will allow them to have more income and therefore be able to meet their bills more effectively. It's also extended for self-employed individuals, so they'll be able to earn $7,800 per year without it reducing their pensions. So if you do the math, it's pretty much the same, $300 a fortnight or $7,800 per year, but self-employed people can earn up to $7,800 per year without having to lose their pension. Older workers who want to upskill can also do so as part of a skills and training incentive where they can get access to subsidies up to $2,000 to try and improve their skills. And the third thing they're doing is so that older Australians can remain in their homes and don't need to go into nursing homes. The government's committed an extra $1.6 billion to 14,000 home care packages. So what we mean by that is that helping people come to their houses to help them with any issues they may be facing, so the people that perhaps in the past may have had to go into a nursing home won't anymore, because the people will come to them and help them with any issues they have so that they can stay at home longer and be where they want to be for a longer period of time. So they're three key incentives that are going to help pensioners. In relation to superannuation, what they're doing is the government is trying to reunite people with their lost super and trying to stop people from getting paid unnecessary fees. So the ATO will be given the capacity to actively reunite Australians with their lost super and any inactive superannuation accounts. This will prevent people who have multiple accounts. So when you get new jobs, you often get set up with different superannuation companies. And the idea is that they'll move all of your super into one account, whichever one you choose, and that'll stop you from paying multiple fees from different account holders, which is a good thing because you won't be paying as many fees, so you get to keep more of your money. So they'll also limit fees on low balances, so they won't allow you the superannuation companies to charge you fees on if you've got a low balance in your super. The government will protect these balances by capping certain fees on accounts with balances of less than $6,000. They're also going to ban exit fees. So some superannuation accounts pay better than others, and what they'll allow you to do is you can sort of move your super into whatever account is performing the best without having to pay unnecessary exit fees when you leave one account. So that'll encourage people to be investing their super in one account, the best account that's going to give them the best returns, and they'll avoid having to pay fees. So the key things are they're going to reunite people with their lost super, they're going to cap fees, particularly for low balances, so people don't have much super saved, and they're going to ban exit fees, which means people won't have to pay as many fees on them super, which gives them more money. And as you can see here, it has quite a large impact, potentially, on the amount you've got as retirement if you're not paying those fees. So it's really important for people that are near retirement age, but also young people in the future. Other things they're doing, this is more related to non-material living standards, but hundreds of millions have been committed to help sick children and women with breast cancer as part of new health funding measures. So 200,000 Australians will get genetic testing on their diseases to hopefully treat cancer and prevent cancer earlier or stop it if possible if there's signs. The government has pledged $241 million to list the life-saving medicine Spinraza. Look, in terms of knowledge of these, the key things are that they're putting more money towards helping sick children and curing diseases and helping to prevent the spread of diseases as well. Further, $84 million will extend and expand the Royal Flying Doctor Service as well, so more money will be put into people in remote areas getting access to treatment as well. Other policies for non-material living standards, there's money being spent towards medical research, money on security, and related to the Great Barrier Reef for the environment. So in terms of medical research, the government's going to put new funding towards research projects, including a $500 million medical research fund. And the idea is to put a lot of that funding towards mental health funding, so to try and prevent suicide, so suicide prevention, and also help out with older Australians as well. So there's going to be provided $83 million worth of psychological services for those in aged care, and $20 million for isolated Australians that are potentially more prone to depression and are more likely to, unfortunately, be involved with suicide and things like that. So that money is designed to try and help some people, particularly with mental health issues. Some 125 million will go towards new research to support people with mental illnesses, and 38 million for try and support to those who have discharged after trying to commit suicide, to help them after they've attempted to commit suicide. Support services including Lifeline and Sane Australia will also receive more funds to try and help with suicide awareness as well. Security, basically the government's trying to catch criminals, terrorists and pedophiles. They're beefing up security at airports, spending $50 million on infrastructure, 122 million to try and better screen cargo coming in and out of Australia, as well as 68.6 million being earmarked to try and disrupt, prevent and investigate child exploitation and abuse. So trying to crack down on issues associated with child exploitation and abuse. 37 million is also being pledged by the Australian Federal Police and the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation to try and prevent child exploitation. So in essence, if we're summarising briefly, a lot of money is being put towards trying to stop terrorism, beefing up our security, and stopping issues with pedophilia and child exploitation as well. Other random policies, not too worried about that one. We've talked about that a bit more. 553 million is being put towards the Great Barrier Reef to try and preserve the Great Barrier Reef. So you might remember with the Adani mine that we did last year for a long time, that there's issues associated with the Adani mine, but they're also just more generally trying to preserve the Great Barrier Reef. This is another one you can use for fiscal consolidation. There's smokers hoping to benefit from the illicit tobacco industry will lose out amongst a crackdown to claw back $3.6 billion. So what they're going to do is they're going to have an illicit tobacco task force, which is trying to boost border security to catch out criminals. So they're trying to catch people basically that are domestically growing illicit tobacco crops illegally, and having a task force to crack down on any illicit tobacco. So if you've got plants in your back rooms, then it's probably time to get rid of them, because they're trying to crack down heavily on marijuana usage this year. Tax cheats and organised crime, as we've talked about in class, there's a massive crackdown on the black economy, with any cash payments above $10,000 becoming illegal. They have to be made electronically or by using checks so they can be tracked and monitored. That way that businesses are always paying the right amounts in tax. Businesses will not be able to claim deductions for payments to their employees, including wages where they have not held back any amount of pay as you go. Don't worry about that, it's very specific. But the idea is that they can't pay anything. You have to pay in check or pay by bank account if anything over $10,000. Welfare cheats, extending fraud detection, again for fiscal consolidation, is aiming to save $229 million by matching people's incomes with how much they've claimed for welfare as well. Migrants will be forced to wait another year, which we talked about in class, to try and reduce the amount of welfare expenditure as well. Thank you.